everyone, it's Derek with OPTP, and today we're going to go through 3 really nice exercises for lower body stability using the Dynamic Duo Balance and Stability Trainers. Let's get started. So with the Dynamic Duo Balance and Stability Trainers, each disc measures 8 1/4 inches in diameter, and they come with a really nice non-slip base to ensure that that disc isn't moving a lot underneath your body during exercise. Again, we've got 3 movements here, and the first 2 we're going to do are from a single leg position. So when we're talking about building lower body stability, these are going to be really nice exercises for the ankle, knee, and hip regions. So if you're engaging in any sort of rehabilitative efforts for those areas, these can be very effective, but as always, make sure you check with your licensed healthcare provider before trying any of these exercises yourself. What we're going to begin with here is, again, I've got a single Dynamic Duo Balance and Stability Trainer. I'm going to bring the midfoot over the center of the stability trainer, and then I'm going to lift on the opposing side up onto the toes and bring that leg behind my body. Now the idea here is to move into a single leg balance with some hip flexion at the top, and we're going to also just to sort of simulate a running pattern here, move into some elbow flexion at the top as well as we flex opposing sides, and then move it back to the start position and repeat. The idea here is to get to a point where you can move through this exercise in a way where you're not feeling a lot of rotation at that Dynamic Duo Balance and Stability Trainer, and trying to keep it as stable as possible as well. That's one really unique aspect of using this tool. Is it not only is going to provide you with instability, but it has a tendency to rotate under your body. So you're really going to feel this exercise in the hip complex as you try to prevent the femur from internally and externally rotating. So again, start at the toe, stable hip, trunk up, flex the hip here, flex the elbow, back to center, tap, and repeat. Once we master this exercise and we can move through 10 to 15 repetitions without a lot of movement taking place either down here or up here, we can progress to the next exercise, which is again going to be from that single leg position. And now, instead of sort of having the ability to touch the floor and then return to the exercise, offering me a little rest in between each repetition, I'm going to stay in a single leg balance position now. And then I'm actually going to alter my center of mass and really kick up that engagement of that vestibular system by shifting forward into a hip hinge. So as I visit my hip hinge position now, that knee is going to flex a little bit. You can see a lot of stability required to stay on this Dynamic Duo Balance and Stability Trainer. I've got my hands down in front of my body now with a nice neutral spine. This is also a great exercise to do loaded if you've got a medicine ball or some dumbbells to hold on to. And from here, what we're going to do is we're then going to pull ourselves back up into that standing upright position. And again, flex the hip, bring the arm up to follow, and then we're going to repeat. So hip hinge, knee flexes. The depth is, of course, your preference here. Bring it back up to center and repeat. Again, loaded, unloaded. Great exercise, lots of activity taking place at the ankle, knee, and hip. Try this one for about 5 to 10, even up to 15 repetitions if possible. All right, our third and final exercise is going to be a squat pattern. So I've got both Dynamic Duo Balance and Stability Trainers here, center of each foot over the center of each disc and the non-slip base underneath. Now, as we engage in this squat, not only are we going to have to deal with that unstable surface created by the Dynamic Duo Balance and Stability Trainers, but also, again, those discs have the tendency to want to rotate under your body. So another dynamic to kind of work through here that makes the movement very effective at helping build some stability across the lower extremities. So I'm going to begin with the chest up. I'm going to make sure my spine stays neutral throughout the exercise. You can begin with a slight level of external rotation there, so toes slightly angled out, and try to hold this position fixed here as you descend. So chest stays up, hips push back, arms out front for counterbalance here as we descend, and then we drive it back up. Range of motion here is going to be dependent on a lot of things, so definitely rely on your licensed healthcare provider if you're working through this movement in a rehabilitation setting. If you're doing this on your own, just move to a point where you really start to feel like the movement becomes challenging at whatever that bottom position is for you, and try to work into getting progressively lower as you build that stability, and of course, work on your flexibility and mobility as well. So 10 to 15 repetitions of this exercise, wonderful movement, and that'll finish sort of all 3 of these movement recommendations using the Dynamic Duo Balance and Stability Trainers to build stability throughout the lower extremities. If you want to learn more about these awesome tools and the many exercises that you can do with them, just go to optp.com. Thanks.